Welcome back to this tutorial of the Elementi software. In part 1, we created a project to use for our video application. In part 2, I'm going to show you how to configure your players so that they'll show the correct content as well as be time synchronized with one another. To begin, we're going to go into the control center of one of our players by opening up the Devices tab and right-clicking on a player and selecting HMP Control Center. Once we're in the control center, the first thing we're going to do is go to Network Settings. I would recommend using a static IP address in your network settings for any video application that you use. So you would change this radio button from DHCP to static and put your network configuration in and click Apply. Once you've done that, the next step is to go to the Advanced tab, and this text box that's associated with the multi-screen ID is what we're going to be changing. The multi-screen ID is going to be set to whichever portion of the content you would like to be displayed. To find out what the multi-screen IDs are, go back to Elementi, and in this drop down right here, select this, and these are the three multi-screen IDs that are associated with this multi-screen project: Screen-1-1, Screen-1-2, and Screen-1-3. You can click on any one of these in Elementi to view only that screen's content, so that you can preview to see what each screen looks like. The numbers are also associated with the row and column that is in the video wall matrix. The first number associates the row, and the second number is the column. So I'm going to set the multi-screen ID of this player to Screen-1-1. And when you click Apply, it'll automatically change the content on the screen to only show the left screen's content. You would then change the other multi-screen IDs of your other two players to the appropriate multi-screen IDs. The next step is to go to Date Time and set the time zone for each of your players to have the same time zone. And also, under Time Sources, make sure that you have the NTP server radio button selected. For the master player, which is any player that you designate, you're going to put the IP address of the slave players in the text boxes that say server 1 through 5. And you're also going to check monitor only for each server that you put in. So if you have 3 players, you will have 2 server text boxes populated with the IP addresses of your 2 slave players, as well as monitor only checkmarked. You're also going to have the pause device at startup to wait for NTP servers by set to 0 seconds. I'm going to pause right here for a moment to allow you to take a screenshot of these settings. Alright, now that we've set the NTP server settings for our master player, I'm now going to pretend that I'm on one of the slave players and configure the NTP server settings for that player. Once again, I'll pause after I'm done to allow you to take a screenshot of what should be there. For the slave players, you're only going to use one server text box, and in it you're going to put the IP address of the master player. Monitor only is not going to be checkmarked, and the pause device at startup to wait for NTP servers by is going to be set to 90 seconds. I'll take a minute now to pause to allow you to take a screenshot of these settings as well. Alright, once you've set these settings on your master player as well as your slave players, when you apply these changes, you'll most likely have to restart the players. Once the players come back up, I would recommend doing one last publish of your project. by hitting the Publish button, add removing your devices if need be, and then clicking the Publish button again. Once the project's been republished to the players, it should come up in sync. So that's how you can configure your players to be time synchronized for a video wall, as well as display the correct content from your project in Elementy. Thank you for watching this video.